Picture this. You're hunched over your desk at 10 p.m., sweat beading on your forehead, frantically fixing a report that's not even yours, while the slacker who dumped it on you is probably at home binge-watching TV. Your blood boils as he swoops in the next day to take all the credit. But what if you could flip the script? One clever tweak to a spreadsheet, and his world comes crashing down in front of the boss and a furious client. Stay tuned for the ultimate office revenge that feels oh so satisfying. What's up, revenge enthusiasts? If you've ever been stuck with that one coworker who treats the office like their personal playground, slacking off, stealing your thunder, and leaving you to clean up their messes, then you know that gut-wrenching mix of frustration and helplessness. We've all been there, dreaming of the day they get what's coming. Hit that like button if you're ready for a story that'll have you cheering for justice. Subscribe to never miss these epic Reddit tales, and buckle up, because today's revenge is a masterclass in quiet, calculated payback that restores your faith in karma. Let's dive in. Let me take you inside the world of our protagonist. Let's call her Emily for this story. Emily's a mid-30s analyst at a mid-sized marketing firm in a bustling downtown office. Picture the scene. Fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like angry bees, rows of gray cubicles that feel like a maze of monotony, the constant clack of keyboards mixed with the aroma of stale coffee from the break room. Emily's desk is a fortress of organization. Neat stacks of reports, a motivational mug that says hustle harder, and a photo of her family to remind her why she grinds through the 9 to 5. She's the type who's always early, volunteers for extra tasks, and genuinely cares about doing good work. But in this office, that dedication makes her a target. Enter Seth, the antagonist who embodies every infuriating slacker you've ever worked with. Seth's in his late 20s, with that perpetual smug grin plastered on his face, like he's figured out life's cheat code. He's got messy hair that screams. I rolled out of bed 5 minutes ago, a wardrobe of wrinkled shirts, and a habit of leaning back his chair with his feet up, scrolling through his phone while everyone else hustles. He's the guy who saunters in 20 minutes late every morning, clutching a giant coffee, muttering some half-baked excuse about insane traffic or my alarm didn't go off. The office knows his game. He vanishes for bathroom breaks that last half an hour, stretches lunch into a 2-hour siesta, and somehow always has family emergencies right before deadlines. For Emily, Seth wasn't just annoying. He was a parasite. It started small, about 6 months ago. They'd been assigned to the same team on a client project, and Seth would shoot her casual emails. Hey, Em, mind taking a quick look at this section? You're so good with details. At first, she helped out, team player, right? But quick look turned into rewriting entire chunks while Seth handled the big picture, which meant doing nothing. Emily's stomach would knot up each time his name popped up in her inbox. That familiar dread creeping in like a cold draft. She'd feel her shoulders tense, her jaw clench, thinking, why me? Why does he always pick on the one who won't say no? The disrespect piled on. One afternoon, Emily overheard Seth in the break room, laughing with a couple of other guys. Yeah, Emily's a lifesaver. She basically does my job for me, he boasted, his voice dripping with entitlement. Her cheeks burned with humiliation as she stood frozen by the coffee machine, pretending not to hear. Inside, a storm raged. How dare he? I've poured my soul into this place, and he treats me like his personal assistant. She complained to their boss, Mark, a no-nonsense guy in his 50s with a tie, always slightly askew, twice. Seth's not pulling his weight, she'd say, voice steady but heart pounding. Mark nodded sympathetically, promised to have a chat, but Seth always slithered out unscathed. He'd flash that charming smile, spin some tale about miscommunications, and walk away scot-free. Emily felt powerless, like she was screaming into a void. Am I invisible? She'd wonder, staring at her reflection in the bathroom mirror, eyes stinging with unshed tears. The underestimation stung deepest. Seth saw her as a pushover, someone he could exploit without consequence. Tension escalated over the months. Seth's laziness infected everything. Deadlines loomed, and he'd dump files on her desk with a casual, thanks, bud, before vanishing. Emily's nights blurred into overtime marathons, fingers flying over her keyboard, eyes bleary from screens, the office empty except for the hum of the AC and her growing resentment. This isn't fair, her internal voice screamed. I'm burning out while he coasts. Colleagues whispered about it, shooting her pitying glances, but no one stepped up. The betrayal cut deep, not just from Seth, but from the system that let him thrive. Powerlessness gnawed at her. If I push back, I'll look like the difficult one. But if I don't, I'm enabling him. The breaking point hit like a thunderclap. It was a Thursday, 2 days before a major client report was due. A high-stakes analysis that could land the firm a big contract. Emily was wrapping up her own tasks when Seth's email pinged. Hey, emergency came up. Can you handle the spreadsheet for the report? You're the Excel wizard. Attached were messy, unorganized files that would take hours to sort. Her hands shook as she read it, a red haze clouding her vision. Emergency? Yeah, right. Probably golfing with buddies. That night, as she slogged through the work alone, the office lights casting long shadows, something snapped. Tears of frustration welled up, but she wiped them away, replaced by a steely resolve. No more. He thinks I'm his doormat. I'll show him what happens when you underestimate the wrong person. The plan sparked from a casual chat weeks earlier. Emily had asked Seth about his skills during a team meeting, feigning interest. You good with Excel? She'd said lightly. He laughed it off. Nah, I'm more of a big idea guy. Numbers are my thing. Bingo. Emily's mind whirred like a machine. She knew Excel inside out from years of crunching data. If he's too lazy to learn, that'll be his undoing, she thought, a spark of empowerment igniting amid the exhaustion. When Seth dumped those spreadsheets on her again, Emily agreed with a sweet smile that hid her brewing storm. Sure, Seth, no problem. But alone at her desk, under the glow of her monitor, she got to work, not just organizing, but engineering chaos. Her fingers danced over the keys, embedding hidden formulas in obscure cells. Nothing drastic at first glance, just subtle links that would scramble sums if copied wrong, circular references that would error out unpredictably, and conditional formatting buried deep to flip signs or multiply by zeros randomly. She tested it meticulously, heart racing with a mix of fear and thrill. What if he catches it? She worried, but pushed on. He won't even look. It took an extra hour, but as she hit save, a rush of adrenaline surged through her, like reclaiming her power one keystroke at a time. Execution day dawned. Seth lounged at his desk, phone in hand, oblivious. The report deadline loomed at 5 p.m. Emily handed over the finished files with a neutral, "Here you go. Should be all set." He barely glanced up. "Thanks, Em. You're the best." Inside, she seethed, "We'll see about that." As the hours ticked by, Emily stole glances at his cubicle, watching him copy-paste blindly into the final document. Short sentences in her mind. Tick. Tock. Boom. The client call came at 4:30 p.m., furious shouts echoing from the conference room where Mark took it. "What is this garbage? Numbers don't add up. It's nonsense." Seth's face drained of color, that smug grin vanishing like smoke. He bolted to his computer, fingers fumbling, sweat beading on his brow. "What the?" he muttered, as fixes broke more sections. Formulas looped, data flipped, total mayhem. Panic set in. His eyes darted wildly, chair scraping as he paced. He rushed to Emily's desk, voice cracking. "Em, something's wrong with the files. Help, please." She feigned confusion, leaning back with wide eyes. "Huh, let me see. Oh, weird. Maybe a glitch? Try checking hidden cells." Vague tips that led nowhere. Seth spent the next hour unraveling, red-faced, cursing under his breath as the clock mocked him. Mark stormed in. "Seth, what the hell? Client's livid. This could cost us the deal." Seth stammered excuses, but no weaseling this time. "It's not my fault. The files were," Mark cut him off. "Your report, your responsibility." Seth got reamed out in front of the team, put on unpaid leave. Emily watched from afar, a wave of triumph crashing over her, relief flooding her veins, validation singing in her soul. Finally, she thought, a secret smile playing on her lips. Justice tastes sweet. Phew, what a ride. This story shows that sometimes the best revenge is letting someone's own laziness be their downfall. Karma doesn't always need fireworks. It just needs a push in the right direction. Makes you think, how many sets are out there? And when will they learn? If this office takedown had you pumping your fist or nodding along, smash that like button and subscribe for more Reddit revenge stories that'll keep you coming back for that sweet justice fix. Drop in the comments, who's the laziest coworker you've dealt with, and how did you handle it? Let's share the war stories down there. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.